So a lot of you have probably already met me in one form or fashion over the years. I've actually been in this community a little bit underground for the past year or so, but since the beginning, I'm really happy to be back. I think some of the work that happened in the community, especially with the ENF, has been truly amazing. It's why I started coming on to be a grant evaluator for a little while, and then why ultimately Eve won me over, and I decided to come on full time to see what kind of impact I could have both in the community and then also inside the. To make a long story short, I've been in the broader crypto space for a long time. Since well before Ethereum, some of my earliest contributions were to the Bitcoin core code base, or a fork of it actually, when we were trying to build layer 2 protocols on top of Bitcoin. There's one in particular called Omni Protocol that I was a part of that eventually led into a somewhat notorious project that you might know by the name of Tether. And since then, I've been in and out of different startups in the space, focus a lot on decentralized identity, consensus mechanisms, found my way into the EOS community during the token sale, the original token sale, and helped build out that kind of initial launch to the protocol with a lot of the core engineers that we have back on staff here at ENF that I'm now rejoining and saying hello to again. So it's been a long, strange journey. I still think the technology that we built here is amazing. The community is the real gem, though, if I'm being completely honest. At this point, a lot of people have seen the technology and adopted it into their own blockchain networks around the planet. But the one thing that they can't really take is the community. And so that community is our special weapon at this point. So I'd like to hear from everyone in the community. I hope at this point you look at the ENF and you say they've come through and been like a reliable partner from like the product and the engineering side and the protocol side. If you have any doubts or any concerns, please reach out. I'm new to the ENF, but I'm here to push it forward, and hearing from everyone here as to what we've done right and maybe what we've lacked on would be great. I think that transparency, that communication, that conversation is something that I'm super happy to be a part of. So I'll go ahead and stop there and kind of open it up for questions.
Hey, Bart, it's Martin. Hey, super great to have you back. I'm super excited about what you're bringing to the EOS ecosystem, what you're bringing as the CTO of the ENF. One thing that you haven't mentioned yet, and that I'm personally super excited about, that you have been working with NFT 42 for a while, who've brought NFTs on-chain, images on-chain. They've been like really awesome, innovative in the NFT space, bringing, I think, projects like Avastar, super early stuff to the block space. So yeah, super happy to have you back. I'm looking forward to get more NFT stuff on EOS and innovate in that space. It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much for the shout out. Yeah, coming from NFT 42, I was the CTO there for about a year and a half, and yeah, we were influential in pushing on-chain NFTs in the Ethereum community, actually, which coming back to gave me some good perspective about how things are done in the other community and what that ecosystem looks like, and where we could come up to speed with some of the things that they have an advantage on us in, and then maybe also exceed them in other places. But the whole concept of pulling more stuff on-chain is something that I really believe in for both, EOS and the broader blockchain ecosystem. I will say it is a titanic fight in the Ethereum ecosystem to get things on chain. And I think that's a situation where the core technology of EOS has a staggering advantage. So particularly when it comes to NFTs, as we move forward in that space and as broader trends like GameFi really come aligned, I think positioning ourselves to be a much better place to have a true on-chain NFT-based experience is going to be something that comes easy to us, much easier than the uphill fight that we had at NFT 42 on Ethereum. I'm still involved in them, still in the NFT space. You'll notice my avatar's an NFT from a project, so you'll probably see some cross-posting in my various socials as those projects still bloom. But yeah, definitely looking forward to what that could be as part of the broader EOS success story.
What do you guys mean when you say on-chain NFTs?
So specifically, the least amount of on-chain stuff you can put and still be an NFT without people really getting mad at you is basically just who owns it. Who owns this NFT? Where's the ownership lie? Some people then also put the metadata, like the actual description of what are the characteristics of that token, on-chain, meaning it literally doesn't go off of the blockchain to a different service, even if that different service is decentralized, to fetch the metadata. You've already lost probably 60 to 75% of NFT projects when you say that. Most of them just have a link to a file hosted somewhere on Amazon, or best case scenario over IPFS. Then there's the top percentage, which is what we were doing with Avastars and other NFT projects where even the art content is on chain. So literally we would figure out ways to compress giant SVGs and GIFs and JPEGs and all sorts of stuff onto chain so that when you query it from the blockchain, all of the data, several hundred kilobytes, sometimes megabytes of data would come from the chain directly. No middleman, no external party, no third party. And that means that no matter what happens in the wide world, as long as you have that NFT, like you can have the entire NFT. There's degrees of safety there where every little piece that gets off chain is technically like a dependency that you have on that NFT for something else to survive. And so some of it is a brand of luxury in the NFT world to have a truly on-chain NFT. Some of it for technical reasons. Then you could have the artwork governed by a smart contract. It can evolve over time in a very trustless way. And so they can be really cool. But that's what we mean when we say on-chain NFT. It's like not just an NFT, it's even a higher tier of subscription to this idea that the blockchain should be the source of truth. Yeah, and I think especially like at that base level, EOS has always run ahead as far as resource capacity and availability. So we'll see that become a multiplier effect as we get further into some of these markets, the atomic asset standard and stuff like that. It is funny how much going from this community and doing kind of a sabbatical in the Ethereum community, realizing how much this community takes for granted as far as some of the capabilities we have, because we've had them for 4 or 5 years now, and Ethereum has still got it on a roadmap somewhere for the future. I think it's great that we have that. I think part of our challenge as a community and as the ENF will be shining a light on some of those advantages to the developers who, for whatever reason, aren't aware of them. And so that will mean that we'll have to take fresh eyes to it and see it for what it is, which is this is still a huge advantage we have.
So another question here coming in from the chat from Jack Bites, asking Bart, your thoughts on the Trust EVM. What do you know about it? How involved are you with that? And what are your thoughts?
I'm coming up to speed on Trust EVM rapidly, I would say. Obviously, it's a big deal. Before I took my sabbatical into the other ecosystem, I was championing our original bounty program to get something of an EVM implementation out there. It was community owned and implemented. And so I've always been an advocate of building bridges and extending olive branches. I think for all of its warts and inconveniences, the EVM does have market share, and it is something where there is an entire community supporting the onboarding of new developers into that ecosystem. So for a lot of reasons, I think there's a lot of advantages to us to build that bridge at a developer community level to allow that expertise to at least be somewhat valuable in our ecosystem, even if it can't access the full features and full capacity of what we have as a kind of a gateway, as an ability to just get that human capital, those people used to us. I think it's invaluable. Long term, I think that the use cases will demand people escape that kind of walled garden and get into the broader this ecosystem. We have to make that learning curve. We have to make that adoption curve as easy and gentle as possible if we want to have that kind of human capital that is currently defaulting to Ethereum just because that's what comes up in a Google search. Try to land here instead. Yeah, I think it's a great initiative. I do think we need to heavily focus on making it that bridge for developers, which means we have to do a lot of things in terms of compatibility at tools and RPC levels. That's a complex problem. We're starting behind on that one because the Ethereum community has been building those tools and thus the dependency on that API for a long time now, and we're trying to catch up. But we're making progress rapidly, so I think it won't be too long before this is another feather in our cap and a good way for us to, like I said, extend that bridge to the broader ecosystem of blockchain developers in general and maybe win some people to our side.